This is Donna.
And this is TJ.
We're the Hills.
And this is
Dinner
and a Marriage. Welcome back.
Hello.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It's been 2 weeks.
It has. And we're overdue on this week.
Yeah, I know. We've been really busy, though. Mm-hmm. But we have all of our crap with us now.
Yeah.
I took a trip to the Communist Republic of Washington State. Infiltrated their borders.
We
had to go back and steal my stuff.
Steal it.
Or I flew there and then had to go to my storage unit and pack it all up. But either way, however you want to view it, that's what happened.
Yes. You took that little saying, the communist state of Washington, from
It's the Communist Republic.
Oh, whatever.
Yes, it was somebody that left a comment on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
He's like, stealing that. Pretty funny stuff. So we're doing a late night tonight. We shipped the kiddos off to the rodeo. It is Pioneer Days, and we're like, you guys, so we could do this and have a little time with no childrens, though young adults.
Yes, children's.
Mm-hmm. And you may hear some tapping as we're doing our thing, and that is our new Shade RV that I'm going to post a video on the Hills on Wheels on the Shade RV. Wow, Shade RV. I'm not sure how it's going so far.
I'm at like 50-50 with it.
Are ya?
I think that it does help keep the camper a little cooler.
Yeah.
The way that it's up there with the wind, I feel like is a little sketchy still.
Yeah, the straps, because the straps are supposed to go on the middle parts, but when you have pop-outs and an awning, you can't put it on those parts, so maybe it needs more straps. I'm not really sure. We'll have to kind of do a post video and see if Shade RV has some comments about it, to maybe make that better. I know. We got to get to my shop talk, right? That's what you're snapping me about. All right. So, shop talk. Do a little shop talk with Donna. Yay! Like, follow, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And last time I did notice that I didn't put notification. YouTube does not autocorrect your spelling, and I think it said
something awesome.
Yeah, it did not say notification, and I was like, dang it, after it already posted. I did not want to go back through that, so sorry about that. If anyone wants to check that out, wow. I totally misspelled that. But yes, please like, follow, and subscribe. We do try to post a new podcast every week. Clearly,
we had really been incredibly busy, though. Yes. And then I was out of the state and all that stuff. It was a little bit functified.
It was a little bit funky. So, like I said, tonight we're doing kind of a late night, and we ended up getting pizza for dinner tonight. Well, it's not even pizza. If you've not tried it, it's Pizza Hut does the new melts, and they're pretty good. I got the chicken melt.
Yeah, I don't know.
But I'm also really hungry.
You're really hungry, and I would have had to have it when it was all the way hot. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm about 50% on that, too.
Wow.
Yeah.
50-50 on all of it today.
Pretty much.
So when TJ got back from Washington, we decided to go see, and we're a little late on the wagon, but we went to go see Sound of Freedom, and it was really good.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Was good. I recommend seeing that movie. There's a lot of hype around that movie currently.
And after seeing it, I really don't even understand it.
Right?
Like, it's a regular movie about some really bad stuff that's going on in the world.
Yeah.
but I mean, it's based on a true story, right? So, and it seems like it's probably fairly accurate.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they embellish a few things here and there because it's Hollywood or not Hollywood or whatever.
Right.
But I still have zero ideas why there would be any controversy, why it took 5 years to come out, why nobody wanted it, why Disney dropped it, like
why Netflix didn't take it.
Yeah, why is it just because of some of the people that were involved and they happened to be like conservative people, so they were going to like shut the whole movie down because of that? Like, are people hiding things? Are they feeling like the stories are hitting a little too close to home now? I mean, I think that the whole thing is just bizarre.
Well, and it's kind of crazy because at first I got kind of that Taken vibe, right, with Liam Neeson, those movies.
Where, that's what I mean. It's very like similar-esque, and there was never any uproar about that.
Well, because, and I wonder if they had not said it was based on a true story, that it would have maybe had a different feeling or whatnot. I have no idea, but so much controversy on it. There's a ton of stuff out on Reels and TikToks where people are saying they went to see it and the movie theater didn't have air condition, or the movie stopped working halfway through or part of the way through, or the volume was really low. We did happen to run into our friend Wendy there, and she said she thought the volume was lower than the previews were. I didn't really notice that. But I mean, it came through clear and the whole movie was fine and it was air conditioned. And sorry, I didn't mean to whack you.
No, you're good.
And yeah, I thought everything on it was good.
Yeah, no, I didn't think that there was anything weird going on with anything. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like going to cause some conspiracy and be like, oh.
Right. And on the...
But I can't say that it hasn't happened places and whatever, right? But I don't really know what the whole...
reasoning was.
Yeah, I mean, if it had been where there was some really, like, jacked up message, or there was something that was that like specifically called out one person in the world, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it wasn't even like in the movie they were like, and now somebody has to find everything that Jeffrey Epstein was up to. Like, there was never any whatever. And I mean, it does seem weird that, you have a whole bunch of, crap going on with Trump and everybody's trying to indict Trump.
Right.
And then there's never been anything. You don't hear anybody about, you don't hear anything about anybody that's on the list of Giselle Maxwell.
Right.
Like, seems a little weird.
It does. Seems
a little bit weird that you have like.
Well, and everyone should be questioning that, because like right now, there's a whole thing happening with Biden and Hunter and that whole thing, and there was cocaine in the White House. And I just saw a clip of Joe Rogan saying everyone should really stop watching mainstream media.
Yep.
And they're talking about everything, like CNN, MSNBC.
Including Fox News, the whole deal.
Because they're all programmed basically to just tell you about certain things. It's not the big picture anymore.
It's to push an agenda. Yeah. Is all it is.
Which is crazy. And that's not how this country was supposed to be. So that's where it's sad to me that I feel like everyone should question it and not point fingers to be saying, oh, well, that's because you're conservative or that's because you're liberal. It's not that. It's, you should look at everything. It shouldn't just be, I'm only watching this one thing, because they're all so biased.
Well, yeah, and I totally get it. I mean, there's people that I watch on YouTube that will watch a lot of, not a lot of, whatever. They'll always talk about, oh no, I specifically do listen to other networks, other things that are totally against my opinion because I want to know what's going on in the sides of the brains of those people.
Yeah.
And most of it doesn't make sense.
Well,
The fact that anybody, and I've seen a few people leave comments online saying that this movie, Sound of Freedom, is a conservative movie.
why?
So
Only conservatives
only
care
conservative
about the
people
kids?
like would say child trafficking's awful,
Like
and everybody else is supposed to be like, it's not that bad,
Right?
like,
Pedophiles.
right? I mean,
That's
they're just a little
insane.
confused.
Yeah. That's where I don't understand that. And that feeds into the whole Jason Aldean thing where it's like, how are you pushing that as a racist agenda? He's talking about growing up in a small town. Like, it makes
No,
zero sense.
It's like this. You have 1 million rappers in the world
Yeah.
claiming, right, in music videos, on their CDs and whatever, that basically somebody's going to get their ass beat or shot or whatever if you show up in their hood just based on maybe what colors of clothing you're wearing, right?
Right. Colors.
But
Colors.
Jason Aldean has this song basically saying the same thing about, I'm in a small town and don't show up here and pull crap because
Right.
you'd probably get your ass kicked.
Yeah.
It's basically the brunt of it, right? But all of a sudden it's like totally vilified. And why are people this overly
Invested in
like
it.
seriously sensitive about some dumb shit like this when, okay, this is me, right? If I don't like something, I'm not going to buy it.
Right?
If I don't like a song, I'm not going to listen to it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get online and I'm not going to be like, everybody in the world needs to stop listening to this and we need to ban it and it can't be around and blah, 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 blah. Why does one side of whatever always want to ban everything? Like,
Is it?
I don't want to. Why? I never lost my shit over WAP.
Yeah.
Like,
that
really?
was
Like,
horrible.
everybody's gonna get all mad about a Jason Aldean song and you got WAP in the world? Like, do you really think that small children or anybody should listen to that song?
No,
Anybody? That
no.
song's just gross.
Yeah. Yeah. For real. There's a lot of songs though, that you'll listen to and I'll be like, is that really what that says? Like, oh, yikes. Or when somebody told me what WAP meant, I was like, how was that ever even put through? That's
I saw this thing
Yeah.
online that this is a while back, right? But this dude pranked his mom
oh no.
and told her that it meant worship and praise. She kept posting that to all of her Christian friends.
Oh my gosh. So have a great day, WAP. Praise God, WAP. Oh no, that's so mean.
Right?
Every time she did it, he was like, he. Oh
Going
my
straight
gosh.
to hell.
Yeah. But what I was going to say, backing up to the movie was what a difference it is to live in a more conservative area versus a more liberal area. Because I was driving to work and on the radio, they were interviewing, oh my gosh, why am I blanking?
I don't know.
The Sound of Freedom, Chavis, right?
Oh, yes. I forgot how to pronounce his last name.
But he was just saying, he also doesn't understand why it would be banned. It's the premise of the movie. Yes, it's based on a true story, but they did make a storyline. And he said all he could really think of was maybe because it was like an island, which maybe touched too much on the Epstein thing. But that also isn't the only island out there. He said, Jim, right? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And how that was just so odd to him that it would be turned down so much. And they filmed it 5 years ago. And I was also surprised when we were in the theater. At the end of the movie, there was a ticker that came on that said, in 5 minutes, there'll be a message from Jim.
Yeah, it said information in, and it had a countdown clock.
Yeah. And we stayed for that, but I would say half the theater at least got up and left before that ever even came on. And he had just said, please get this movie out there, that you can go online, and I'll put it down here as well. And then I'll put it in the show notes on our podcast, but that you can buy tickets to donate to people that aren't able to pay to see it. And I think that's a really awesome thing, because really it should be seen. People should know that this is going on. And I know sometimes you live in an area that you just turn a blind eye to it, or you'd think, oh, that's not happening in my town. But it probably is.
No, so it comes down to this, right? Is everybody gets complacent, everybody gets kind of in their comfort zone. I think that there's been a plan around for a really long time, just as far as, we can get into this as a whole other podcast, but to buy a home being the American dream.
Right.
It's like all just one big scam by the banks to make money, right? Mm-hmm. Like, people have been raised, like, since they were small to be like, you got to have a perfect credit score, and you got to do all this, you got to get into debt, and this is the way that you live. And if you take somebody and you put them in, like, what is their comfort zone, and in America, I think there's too many people now that are just in that zone. They can't get themselves to go and be uncomfortable. Mm-hmm. Okay. I will say that the process that we've gone through, doing everything that we're doing, I am fully trusting the process. I'm trusting the plan. There's been hiccups and bumps. It has been uncomfortable at times.
Yeah.
I would not change a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I have never felt more alive in my life than in like the last 6 months. Being in full control of my life. People become complacent, but it also has to do with, nowadays we have more laws and more rules, and we have more government. Okay. And I'm not comparing it like it's exactly the same right now, because it's not, but in the direction that it's going, it will be the same. Do you know that during, before World War II, everything that Hitler did to the Jews in Germany, he didn't break any laws. So if you can make evil laws and say, well, this is law,
right,
then even if you do something good, but you get caught because you're doing something against evil, but the evil was the law, then you're wrong, right? In the eyes of the law.
Right.
So it's kind of the same now. If good men do nothing, then evil can prevail. That is the only way that evil prevails, is for good men to do nothing. Right. Well, right now everybody's been fat and happy for a very long time, and they've been in debt, and they're just doing their thing, and they're thinking about their cars, and they're thinking about their house, and they're thinking about whatever, and they want to raise their kids if they have kids, and they want them to go to college, but everybody has kind of lost that, like, sinister edge about them.
Yeah.
And I think that as a society and as people, and especially as men, you should be able to just have that in you. Like, at the drop of a hat, you find out that there's some evil crap going on. You get about 6 or 7 of your buddies together, and you go down and pretty much handle business. Mm-hmm. Now, vigilante justice, not cool. But in the movies, it's badass. Hey, we're going to make all these movies, and it's all going to be superheroes and guns and blowing everything up and doing the right thing. But don't talk shit about this corrupt government, because we will kick your ass. We will put you in jail. We will scare you. We will tax you to death. We will try to take all of your shit from you, and we will run your name through the mud. Like, that's what That's why people now are like, oh my gosh, I have to sit here and do nothing. I can't do anything.
Right. That 'cause we do know a few people that are like, oh, so conservative. All this stuff is crazy. Da 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 da. But no, I can't sell my house or leave my job or any of that because then what would I do? Well, you would fight the good fight. Is what you would do.
Yeah,
Like
but I mean, it's
they're just
just,
so, like you say, or I've said before, is it's what I'm accustomed to.
yeah. No, you
Yeah.
have to, there's, I feel like, unless you're just an extremely lucky person and I don't know, you won the lottery or you've had a family with money and then you were given a lot of stuff and you weren't a total moron.
Mm-hmm.
The only way to get ahead in life is to put yourself in very uncomfortable situations.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, you have got to stress that boundary of where you feel comfortable with anything. And I got into a mode for quite a few years of, I mean, we were trying to save money and we had a plan, but I'm telling you, you got to grind it out. We got to come up with a plan. We've had this plan for a very long time. I mean, I've had a good plan for doing something like this for like the last 6 years at least, but like where I felt like we could actually pull it off. But it is an absolute grind and some people just don't want to deal with it all.
Yeah. It's funny because I think it was just yesterday. Oh, was it? Yeah. It's Pioneer Days, like I said, and we went and toured a couple things in town that were old buildings. And I was saying, it's amazing to think that in the 1800s, people actually moved their entire homes in different states, and they did that in a horse and buggy and wagons and everything by hand. They didn't have tools or tractors or any of that. And how lucky we are, fortunate we are that we do have a tractor that helps us to move things along so much quicker. But the whole idea of that is those people had a goal. They were like, I am moving my home to here to do this, to have fertile land, to, all the things that people just don't do anymore. They're like, nope, just going to stay here and suffer through and see how things change because I already pay a mortgage here.
Yeah,
Or
but
whatever the case
that's what
might
I'm
be.
saying is I don't know. I mean, when it comes down to it, and they should teach everybody this in school. Okay, fine, you're right. To be able to rent an apartment, you need to have a credit score.
Right.
You need to have a good credit score. So it's like a double-edged sword, right? So I'm not going to be one of those people like I think that Dave Ramsey sometimes is like way too cut and dry with like the zero debt and save forever and blah blah blah. I think that it is with the way that everything is right now. It's a little bit impossible for somebody to graduate high school,
Right.
and then. I mean, I don't know. I think that if you graduated high school and you had a job and you really did nothing, and for like 3 years you just saved all your money, then you could probably start out decent. But you would have to save everything that you made and do nothing and live at home and be like,
Right.
this is what I'm doing.
Well, and I think that's why kids live at home so much longer. Like, there's no way to get even your foot out there. If you've been at home and you've gained no credit and like you can't get a loan because you don't have credit, you can't get a credit card or they give them to you and you mess them up right away because you don't know anything about it because they didn't teach you about it in school. And luckily, I mean, some of us were taught by our parents what credit was and how
Yeah.
to do that, but or vice versa, like you were doing something that you saw them do at the opposite end. Like, like my mom loved to spend money.
Oh no, 100%. But I just mean they need to teach people like being debt free is not just being free from bills, but it's freedom. Um, it's like this. It's one of the struggles that I had back where we lived. But everybody that has a job has had to deal with this at some point, and you have to just get to a point within yourself where you just go, I can't do it anymore. But when you have an employer, what is important to your employer has to be important to you, whether you agree with it or not. If your whole like role as an employee is to protect your employer's money,
Basically.
that is really all it comes down to.
Or to make them more.
Or to make them more money. But that is the whole, I mean, deal with being an employee is you sign up and you say yes, and I will make this more important than anything in my life almost.
Yeah.
Right? And I've operated like that forever, and I've made people a lot of money. And I've, had a goal, and yes, I had to, get a mortgage and buy a house and do whatever and have, go through the whole credit thing. And I've not been somebody that's lived debt free my whole life and whatever. I'm not going to say that I have, but we've tried and always tried to keep our debt low and, not be crazy with stuff. But, yeah, I mean, they need to teach kids that is a thing. It's what movie is that? It had John Goodman and Matt Damon in it. And he was the gambler. He had the addiction problem. He had all that money. He kept losing it. John Goodman told him you needed to have fuck you money.
I don't remember the name of that movie.
And,
I'll look it up.
Oh, Rounders.
Oh, okay.
And that I remember thinking, like, at some point you have to be able to have that to where you can make a plan and have enough money to try to get out of the situation that you're in, and then go do something different and pour your heart and soul into it. And
$2.5 million. Any asshole in the world knows what to do. You get a house with a 25-year roof, an indestructible Jap economy shitbox. You put the rest into the system at 3 to 5% to pay your taxes, and that's your base. Get me? That's your fortress of fucking solitude. That puts you for the rest of your life at a level of fuck you. Somebody wants you to do something? Fuck you. Boss pisses you off? Fuck you. Own your house. Have a couple bucks in the bank. Don't drink. That's all I have to say to anybody at any social level. Did your grandfather take risks?
Yes.
I guarantee he did it from a position of fuck you. A wise man's life is based around fuck you. The United States of America is based on fuck you. You're a king? You have an army? Greatest navy in the history of the world? Fuck you, blow me. We'll fuck it up ourselves. Which we have done. Beautiful fuck you position lost forever.
something new.
Right. We totally squirreled off the movie. I was like, wait, we totally went to... But I get where it kind of comes around to the idea of, like, doing something out of your comfort zone. So I was going to touch on something that I wanted to bring up that when we were talking about the movie. I do have a friend, her name's Brandy Smith, and she does run underground, I think it's Underground Railroad, Operation Railroad, and I looked it up. So it's called Operation Underground Railroad. She is the senior director and developer of Operation Underground Railroad. And it's called OURRESCUE.org.
Yeah, ourrescue.org.
Yeah, and it is, we exist to rescue children from sex trafficking and sexual exploitation. Operation Underground Railroad. And yeah, it's a really good organization, and I will link all that information
Yes.
as well. And I went to school with Brandy. She was one of my best friends in middle school. And yeah, we are still friends. So there we go.
Fantastic.
Yes. I had to roll back to that because I'm like, oh yeah, I wanted to mention this. So.
No, for sure. I'm just saying, I think that the way that it's going, the way that the rules are being made up, the rules, the laws,
Yes.
you could try to do something good and get in a lot of trouble for it. A lot of people don't think that it's worth it. It's the same thing with like concealed carry. There's a lot of laws with, concealed carry and what you can and can't do, and you could fully be in the right and still go to jail for protecting yourself. It's a load of shit is what it is.
Yeah.
Like, it pisses me off to no end, but that's the way that it is, but that's how they try to keep everybody compliant. But even like with Tool, like, I know that Maynard's a fairly lefty person, whatever, but they even had stuff way back in the day. I mean, we're talking, 96, 95? Think for yourself.
Right.
Question authority.
Uh-huh.
Think for yourself. Question authority. Take your own medicine.
Yeah.
Right?
It's kind of like that whole anarchy, too, where, that was so, out there and whatever. And then all the things that ended up becoming like mainstream, like WAP, let's say, right? Like, so we went from, oh my gosh, you can't listen to Ozzy Osbourne to having WAP on the radio. Like, oh my. That's
right.
such a huge thing. Like, okay. And such a small amount of time.
Oh,
if
yeah.
you think about it in the scale.
Well, I mean, if you think about how weird everything's gotten in the short amount of time that it has, too. Like, super weird.
Oh, yeah.
Not, just...
Well, it's like I'm always saying, I wish there was a possibility that we would be able to send our own kids or even our grandkids to back to 1980, in the 80s, how easy it was, what a great time it was, and not to be tied to any sort of electronics and that whole thing where you see all that nostalgia of people saying, oh, we drank from the hose, we rode our bikes till the streetlights came on, then we went home and our parents never knew where we were. And like,
it's all real stuff.
Yeah. And that was the best time.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I wish that they could experience that and not be like, oh, what do you first remember? This big pandemic and craziness and masks and like, that's
that
just
would have
sad.
sucked, though, being around, say, like 12, 13, like during the pandemic.
Well, like Gabriel even.
Oh, that's
Like
true, yeah.
was, just starting high school and ended up having to be homeschooled, and he did not like that at all. Like, he was a very social person, so that was such a struggle. It was just sad. But to think about that, like with Gavin, he was 3 years old and, out in public having to wear a mask and just so crazy. Not that, I think at first people put little kids in masks when, like, at the very beginning, like when they're like, oh, flatten the curve. But then after a while, they're like, oh, if they're 5 and under, like, you don't have to do that. I go, okay. But like, wait, what? I mean, everybody knows how that was all crazy. Wear a mask, don't wear a mask. Get a shot, don't get a shot. Like, just the whole thing. If you can't see that was all
Insanity.
pushing an agenda of sorts, then something is wrong. Like,
It's
they're,
testing the boundaries of compliance.
yeah,
That's all it was.
like, will you be?
But, you know, it was amazing also during that to, I don't know, the amount of people that would be willing to tell on their neighbors or
Oh, yeah.
just get in people's business that they didn't really need to. I was like,
Well, and it makes,
oh,
because, when I was younger and I read the book Anne Frank, right? And I always thought, why would somebody be like, oh, that whole family's hiding in that house when you know what's going to happen to them?
right.
Why would anyone do that? And then we get around to that, and you have those people that are like, those guys, they're not doing it. They're not doing it. I'm going to tell. Like, why though? It's not hurting you.
Points from the government.
It's so crazy. All that did is go, oh, good for you. Like, now we know we can take your kids and everything else.
Right?
Like, just that, I don't know. Question everything.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. My thing is it's like with anything, especially nowadays. You cannot pick a side. You have to, in your brain, go, what seems right and what seems wrong.
Right.
And go with that.
Mm-hmm.
But don't base it off of some mainstream news coverage.
Right. For sure.
Like, can you please expand your horizons? I don't know. Maybe leave your house and go talk to some other normal people and be like, oh my God, do you know how racist the world is? You know how many people would look at you like you're a moron?
all right.
Like, no, dude, it's not.
It's
It's
not.
really not.
It's not. And what's sad is if you really feel that, like, I feel bad for you. I'm sorry that that's how you feel, because it's not.
No, it's not.
Like, we all come from the same place. Like, it's sad if you think that. I
I
don't
mean,
know.
I don't know. I mean, I like to barbecue and hang out with people.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not.
Yeah.
That's pretty much, if everybody could just think about life that way, like, we need to get together and barbecue.
Have a beer.
Right?
Play some cornhole.
Yeah.
Like,
Normal stuff.
yeah. All the fun stuff.
Just do that.
Yep. I like that.
And then when the government tells everybody to do dumb shit, then everybody would be like,
What are they
you're going to
talking
stop
about?
us from barbecuing? And then a bunch of
going
middle fingers would show
outside?
up. Like, no, dude.
We can't go outside. What? What's that about? No fresh air? Oh.
But, I mean, I don't know. I think that if people don't have that much going on good in their life, or if they're really afraid of everything, then maybe they can be coerced into, oh my gosh, there's all this stuff. But, I mean, really what's happening nowadays is just it's coming down to, you have to look at it, identify it, and absolutely see that it's just a battle between good and evil.
Yeah.
Like, there's I don't know, no politics involved. There's only good and evil currently. It's like, and I'm not a fan of any politicians.
Right.
Like, I don't want anybody to be like, oh my gosh, they picked a side. No, I did not.
Right. For sure.
Now, I have my own brain and I have my own opinions, and I, believe in the Second Amendment, and I still love the American flag. I absolutely despise all of our politicians. I don't think that there is one that should be left in the current state of America, because they've all been playing the same game. They all know where all the money's going. They're all involved. Whether they say, oh, it's amazing if you were just in D.C. just to see everything that's so corrupt in the way that it is. But if you scratch my back, I'll scratch your back. If you were so hardcore and you were so against everything, you wouldn't have a job.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, let's just get back to being normal and stop picking parties.
The thing that, yeah, I 100% agree with that. But the thing that I think that is sad about all of this is even as we're talking about it, I'm like, ooh, someone out there's going to be like, you can't say normal. Or someone's going to,
Oh, don't
out
be
there,
offended. Good Lord. Stop.
I'm not offended.
I know that.
Oh, I thought you were saying.
I was talking to the people that you were like, oh, like, just
but
don't
if
be.
you are offended, be offended. That's okay,
right?
too.
It's your right.
Yeah. So, but that's the thing. Question everything. Just have your own mind to be able to say, I agree with this or I don't. But if I don't agree with what you don't agree with or vice versa, let's not argue about it. Just come on over, have a beer, we'll barbecue.
Right? Like, if you're doing something that I don't like, I'm going to be like, huh.
That's weird.
And I'm going to go that way. Right? I'm not going to be like, get a bunch of people together. We need to cancel them.
Yeah, no, let's
Like,
not.
let's not do that. Come on.
Yeah.
You know, if a person, a corporation, a whatever does something dumb to piss me off and I don't agree with it, I'm just not going to either hang out with that person or shop at that store or do whatever. And I'm not going to get online and be like, join the party and stop doing this and blah, blah, blah. And shame on you if you don't. Like, I'm not going to do that.
Right.
But I, by myself, can be like, I'm going to choose to not do that or buy that or shop there or do whatever.
Yeah.
And it's even hard nowadays to have anything, purchase anything, if you wanted to do a deep dive into anything that probably donates to something that you don't like or whatever.
Sorry, I was scoffing, but I wasn't
'Cause the
scoffing
dog.
at what you're saying. The dog literally is like, it is 9 o'clock, people.
It's past my bedtime.
Generally, 8 o'clock, he is right up those stairs. And yeah, now he's up on the couch with us like, excuse you.
No.
Right? You're either giving me pizza or we're going to bed, people. Little does he know, we are going to have to get in the car here in a little while.
Dun, dun, dun.
Pick up the kiddos. Sorry, young adults.
Chitlins.
Right. We'll round that off a little because, and rewind because we'd talked about it before about Christian staying with us and has been going through some things and whatever, but we did want to say that he is doing much, much better. When TJ and Christian went to Washington, they stayed with our oldest, Gary, and our youngest came over, and yeah, they had a whole good old boy time out there.
Bonding.
Yeah. And yeah, so I'm glad of that.
Yes. It's been much, much better.
Yes. Yeah, I feel that. I'm really glad, and he's getting the help that he needs, and that is all we can hope for. And that is what we do.
Yep.
Yay! So yeah, I think that we need to round it out now, and because we gotta hit the road, Jack.
Don't you come back no more, no more, hit the road. Oh yeah, it's a bunch more. No more, no more.
Come back no more, no more, no more, no. Hit the road, Jack. No more. One more time.
Oh wow.
Got me going. Sorry.
You and the squirrels.
Really, this whole episode. I feel like all of our episodes we start here, we're like, we're going to talk about this, and then we just roll.
Well, it's like this. It's called bad prep.
Is it?
Well, yeah,
We
like
had good prep today.
we're gonna maybe talk about this and maybe this, and it could bleed into something else. And
Well, it's so...
oh, that sounds awesome. Let's just go with it. Let's do It's going to be awesome.
It's funny because I'll be like driving home in my car, beep, beep, and I think, oh, yeah, I want to bring this up. Oh, and this. And, oh, look, here's this interview with Jim Caviezel, and it's so great, and da-da-da, and I want to bring that up. And we get to sitting down, and we start talking, and, we start to go back and forth, and then I'm like, oh, shoot, I was going to mention that, but then we kind of just do that. I don't know.
No,
It's all
it's fun.
good.
I like to talk crap about us. I mean, if you can't make fun of yourself. Ooh.
Huh.
Oh, dude, that's my goal this week.
What?
I'm going to offend myself.
Offend?
Yeah.
You're going to offend yourself.
If I can't offend me,
Not
I
with
don't know who
odor, I
can.
hope.
What in the world?
Offensive odor.
Ooh.
Let's not, because that would offend everyone.
That would definitely offend you.
Yeah.
Now you made it weird.
All right. Well.
But yes, go check out The Sound of Freedom.
It was really good.
It was a good movie.
Yep. And I will put that link, like I said, in to donate if you'd like to donate, and as well as the Operation Underground Railroad.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys. Have a fabulous week.
Enjoy.
Bye. And before you go, visit us on our social medias at Linktree/The Hills on Wheels, linktr.ee/The Hills on Wheels, no spaces.